Have you thought about investing in some rental property? We'll take a look at this one. This was a darling little house in a good neighborhood. And when the renters moved out, this is the mess they left us. What do you think? Is buying investment property and renting it out as glamorous as all those YouTubers and HGTV say it is? Let's talk about that. Well, I purchased this home probably 20 years ago, and it has been a very good rental for me. It's a very small house, only 2 bedroom, 1 bath. And I've had some good tenants, but I've also had some terrible tenants. Well, to give you some background, I started buying rental property in 1994, and I've purchased 1 or 2, some years even 3 properties a year, up until about 2010. Now, in 2010, I took a break from buying property and actually started selling 1 or 2 every few years. And I just want to give you guys a few nuggets of wisdom from a woman who has been buying rental property and renting out property all these years. Well, number one, if you don't have the cash to purchase this home that you're going to be using as rental property, you want to make sure, if you're borrowing the money, that the rent you're receiving on that property will make that bank note plus some, because you want to have some money to cover those repairs, also the insurance and the taxes. And when you're purchasing rental property and you're planning on keeping that home for 10 to 20 years, look around at the neighborhood. Is the neighborhood increasing in value, or are the homes around your house decreasing in value? And pay attention to that. If you're using it as rental property, you're going to be making repairs and you're going to be keeping your house up and nice. But if the neighborhood, the home values are going down, you're really losing. If you see your neighborhood is going down in value, you need to get out of that neighborhood. Sell that house. By keeping a property too long in a declining neighborhood, you're going to lose money. Also remember, when you've got a good renter in there and they're paying their rent every month and they're taking good care of the property, you still have to increase the rent at least every 3 to 5 years. You don't want to have you don't want to raise the rent so often or too much that you lose a good tenant. I was guilty of this. I would keep my rent low so I would attract good tenants and those good tenants would stay. And if they were good, I was afraid to raise their rent, that they might move. But I let people stay 10 and 13 years in several of my homes and never raised their rent till they finally moved out. And that was foolish of me. I lost revenue on those properties. And when they did move out, there was so much updating to do. A home that's been lived in for 10 to 13 years is going to need new paint, it's going to need new flooring, and that was foolish for me not to raise their rent every 3 to 5 years at least to keep up with the market. Be careful who you rent to. Have all potential tenants fill out an application and check their rental history. Find out why they're moving. Did they pay their rent on time? Did they get their deposit back at their last rental? And it's so tempting to want to rent to a friend or family member, or maybe a friend's family member. But some of those have been my biggest mistakes. When I have rented to some of my husband's friends' relatives, I hope he doesn't watch this video and know that I'm saying this, they turned out to be the worst tenants. I don't know if it was because they knew my husband and they thought they could take advantage of me or what, but they actually turned out to be some of my worst tenants. They didn't take good care of the property and they didn't pay their rent on time. Whether you have 1 rental property or 600 rental properties, don't spend all that rent money. You want to have some of that money put back into a savings account to cover insurance, taxes, and repairs. And every property is going to need repairs, even if you have the best tenants in the world that are taking great care of your property. Things just break. You might need a new water heater. And every 10 to 20 years, you're going to need a roof. You're going to need a new HVAC system. And those things are expensive. So make sure you have a savings account that will cover those repairs. One of the expenses a lot of people don't talk about or think about is tree maintenance. You know, if you have a dead tree in the yard, and it happens now and then, it's anywhere from $1,000 to $4,000 to have that tree removed. And also just keeping the tree limbs trimmed. Those tree limbs that get close to the house or even touch the roof can cause damage to your roof. That can be anywhere from $700 to $2,000. Well, buying rental property can be profitable and even fun. But remember, be careful who you rent to. Be careful what neighborhood you buy in. Know when to sell. And most importantly, put money back for repairs, insurance, taxes, and to clean up the mess if a tenant leaves you with a mess like this one did me. Well, good luck if you're going to buy some rental property. I hope this video has helped. Until next time, bye.